Remember, about 3 weeks ago, I gave you the choice of 2 stories. Do you remember that? And you picked a story, but some people were really disappointed that they didn't get to hear the other story. So, when I give you a choice, I'll always give you both. It's just not always at the same time. So I have a story that you didn't get to read, and it's all about a neighbor who does a really cool thing. And it's called Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge. You've heard this story before, but you've forgotten. Just go along with it, even if you remember. Smile and nod. Okay. There was once a small boy whose name was Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge, and what's more, he wasn't very old either. His house was next door to an old people's home, and he knew all the people who lived there. He liked Mrs. Jordan, who played the organ. And he listened to Mr. Hosking, who told him scary stories. He played with Mr. Tippett, who was crazy about cricket. He ran errands for Miss Mitchell, who walked with a wooden stick. He admired Mr. Drysdale, who had a voice like a giant. But his favorite person of all, was Miss Nancy Allison Delacourt Cooper. Because she had 4 names, just like he did. He liked to call her Miss Nancy, and he told her all his secrets. One day, Wilfred Gordon heard his mother and father talking about Miss Nancy. "Poor old thing," said Mother. "Why is she a poor old thing?" asked Wilfred Gordon. "Because she's lost her memory," said his father. "It isn't surprising," said his mother. "After all, she is 96. "What's a memory?" asked Wilfred Gordon. He was always asking questions. "Well, it's something you remember," said his father. But Wilfred Gordon wanted to know more, so he called on Mrs. Jordan, who played the organ. "What's a memory?" She said, "Something warm, my child, something warm." He called on Mr. Hosking, who told him scary stories. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something from long ago, my lad, something from long ago." He called on Mr. Tippett, who was crazy about cricket. "What's a memory?" he asked. "It's something that makes you cry," he said. "Something that makes you cry." He called on Miss Mitchell, who walked with a wooden stick. "What's a memory?" "It's something that makes you laugh, my boy. Something that makes you laugh." And then he called on Mr. Drysdale, who had a voice like a giant. "What's a memory?" he asked.
"Something as precious as gold, young man. Something as precious as gold." Right.
So Wilfred Gordon went home again to look for memories, so that Miss Nancy could have hers back, because she'd lost hers. So he looked for the shoebox of shells he'd found long ago last summer and put them gently in a basket. He found the puppet on strings, which always made everyone laugh, and put it in the basket too. And he remembered with sadness the medal which his grandfather had given him long ago and placed it gently on the shells. Next, he found his football, which was as precious as gold. And last of all, on his way to Miss Nancy's, he went into the hen house and took what? A fresh, warm egg from under the hen. Then Wilfred Gordon called on Miss Nancy and gave her each thing, one by one. "What a dear, strange child, to bring me all these wonderful things," thought Miss Nancy. And then she started to remember. She held the warm egg and told Wilfred Gordon about the one tiny speckled blue egg she'd found once in a bird's nest in her aunt's garden. She put a shell to her ear and remembered going to the beach by tram, which is a train, long ago, and how hot she'd felt in her button-up boots. She touched the metal and talked slowly of the big brother she had loved who had gone to war and never returned. She smiled at the puppet on the strings and remembered the one she had shown to her sister and how she laughed with a mouth full of porridge. She bounced the football to Wilfred Gordon and remembered the day she'd met him and all the secrets they had told. And the two of them smiled and smiled because Miss Nancy's memory had been found again by a small boy who wasn't very old either. Isn't that a great story? Isn't that a great story? We should sing. Because when we sing, we pray twice, and I'm not going to have you pray and sing at the same time. So there's this action song. Because that's a lot of pages. You thought so? Not a lot. This song is one of the things. So we're going to hear a story later about a lawyer who asks Jesus, what's the most important law? And Jesus said, so what does it say in the Bible? And the lawyer said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, whole soul, mind, and strength. Well, we have a song all about that. Let's sing it, shall we? Let's do it. Okay, but there's actions. I'm going to do them, and then I'll teach them to you. Actions again because we haven't sung it for a while. So the word for love is hugging yourself. Make sure you've got the hand that you eat with or write with on the outside. So that's love. And Lord, you make a banner. You make an L with your thumb and your index finger, and you make a banner down your body. Love the Lord your God. And God is, you make a hand. It looks like that, only it faces backwards. So up here like this. Up here, see, right? That's it. So that's God. So here it goes. Love the Lord your God. With is two fists, and you push out with. And all is simply take the hand that you write with and go like that. Around. With all. And your, guess what your is? Your. And then, this time it's heart. So when you touch heart, you just do the heart. So we got this, right? So there's only, we're going to add little bits to it, but once we have all of this beginning part, then we can just add the word. So here, let's try. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Now the word mind is you touch your forehead once. Mind. So love the Lord God with all your heart. Soul is the coolest word. You make a little cup with your hand that you don't write with, and the hand that you write with, you make a little kind of sewing action going up. That's the word for soul or spirit. And then all that you are, we're going to make the sign for life, and it's two L's. They come up from way down low and they rest on your shoulder. So all that you are is going to be turned into life. Okay? All that you are. Want to try it? Here we go. See if we can do it. From the beginning.